What's up, boys and girls? Corey James coming to you with another video. Let's get to it. So today I wanted to do a video, a kind of a continuation on my last video talking about ancient aliens, but focus on the time period of the Renaissance up until about the 20th century. And now I'm really excited to make this video because the Renaissance is probably one of my favorite time periods in history. I just love everything about it. The sculptures, the artwork, the overall intellectual expansion that we see from this time, but more than that, the mystery that comes from this time period. The paintings that seem to depict some fantastical things. And this is a time where you really couldn't disagree with the church. You know, you couldn't get off that path. And so a lot of documents and a lot of texts were destroyed or hidden and suppressed. But I think these painters, these sculptors were privy to maybe those hidden texts, and they were trying to leave little subtle clues as to the truth of our past. And another important thing you have to remember about these master paintings is that nothing is by accident. Nothing is just for the sake of it, put some shit into the painting. Everything is planned out. So the first painting we look at comes from the late 1400s. It's the Madonna with Saint Giovannino. And when we look at this painting, we see Madonna praying over the babies, but we look over the shoulder of Madonna and we see this object in the sky. We also look below that and we see a man looking at this object, pointing at this object, and we see his dog next to him. It almost looks like he's barking at this object. So again, you look at something like this and you got to remember again, nothing's accidental. Another painting we look at, the Baptism of Christ from the early 1700s. We look at this painting, we see Jesus Christ being baptized. We look to the top of the painting. We see a big freaking disc. It has lights coming down from it, shining over this event. I mean, really, what are we seeing here, guys? This is 1710. This was painted. What is that? We look at a painting from the late 1400s, the Annunciation with Saint Midas. We see the Virgin Mary. She's just becoming aware that she is now pregnant with the Son of God. You see a beam of light shining on her, and you look where this beam of light is coming from. And there are numerous other examples that exist. Paintings showing interesting things, fantastical things that when you look at them, take them literal. You know, nothing is by accident. Remember that about these paintings. These are master paintings that took years to complete. But again, this is just my opinion. Let me know what you think. Leave a comment below. Jump forward now to the early 1900s. And this is where we start to get a lot of great evidence. And we start to get actual pictures and videos of these things that we've been hearing about in the sky. We look at one of our earliest and most infamous accounts of encounters with UFOs, the 1947 incident with Kenneth Arnold. While piloting his small plane in Washington around Mount Rainier, he spotted several lights flying below him. They were in a V shape, seemed to be 9 of them, and he said that they had to be flying at least 1,700 miles an hour, which is just an absurd amount of speed. And when he was describing this, he said that, you know, with their motions and the way they looked over water, it said it looked like a saucer if you skipped it across water. And it's actually where we get our modern day term of flying saucer. You know, now, of course, being a pilot and knowing the technology we have to fly, first thing he thought was that it was, you know, a new technology because this is, you know, right around the time after World War II ended. And, you know, so he thought maybe it was some kind of secret technology the government was working on. But the Air Force, everybody around the area, nobody said they had any of their aircrafts flying around that area at that time. Of course, we have the most infamous UFO incident with the 1947 in at Roswell in Roswell, New Mexico. This is, you know, very significant. It was the first time that we started to get a glimpse of cover-ups by the government. You know, the Air Force first originally said they had recovered flying saucers. They then immediately retracted that statement and came up with some bullshit story as to what really happened. We look back to the first ever photograph taken of a UFO. Back in 1950, Evelyn Trent was feeding her rabbits outside in her Oregon farm, and she noticed a disc in the sky. Her husband, Paul, grabbed her 35mm camera, and he was able to snap 2 quick photographs of this disc in the sky. And these are completely authentic. They've been studied. They've been proven to be 100% real. And when you look at this, it's back in 1950, folks. What is that? And I mean, we just look at numerous other accounts, the Lubbock Lights of 1950, the Rendlesham Forest incident in 1980, the Belgian Wave from 1989 to 1990, and the Betty and Barney Hill story of their abduction, the Phoenix Lights. I mean, the list is just on. And these are incidents where we have video evidence, photographic evidence. Sometimes we have physical evidence. The one thing we don't have, however, is an answer. All of these events are still classified as unexplained, or they're just blatantly ignored. And it leads to a lot of conspiracy theories and a lot of crazy conspiracy theories. I will give you that. But it can't take away from the evidence that some of these events produce. And when you look at some of it, you kind of have to come to a point where you think that, okay, maybe this could be some sort of extraterrestrial vehicle or life or whatever you want to call it. But again, that's just my opinion. Let me know what you guys think. So that concludes our lesson for today, boys and girls. I really hope you enjoyed the video. But more important, I really hope I can bring you more videos, more in-depth, more interesting, entertaining videos. If you liked what you saw, please hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, leave me some comments, let me know what I did well, what I could do better. And you know what, man, I really hope to see you guys again. Until the next time, I'm Corey James. You guys take it easy.